You guys were back. Sean, Javon, All 52 Podcast. Man, the NFL, it's done. The Super Bowl ends. Then we have the free agency. Then we have the draft. Then OTAs. The NFL will be back any. It's really short. I love these news. What's going on, Javon? What's going on?
Brothers and sisters, I come before you today asking that you join me in a prayer to ask the good Lord to continue to cover and bless Brother Sean. Yesterday, uh, Brother Bryson wanted to go to the Magic City game that the
Yes.
Atlanta Hawks were promoting, and that no good Adam Silver, come on somebody, had the event canceled. Brother Sean was looking forward to the free T-shirt and the lemon pepper wings
Absolutely.
and the possible after party at the actual Magic City, and Adam Silver, who lets Miles Bridges, the woman beater, and Kevin Porter Jr., the woman beater, still play in his NBA, had to step in and say it was because of the corporate sponsors and cancel Magic City. Now I just ask y'all to help me ask Lord to protect Brother Sean from the enemy. I just watched Adam Silver ruin the league known as the National Basketball Association, the league of Kareem and Oscar Robertson, the league of Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, the league of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, the league of Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. And I just ask that we get Adam Silver out of it. And y'all pray for Brother Sean as he goes through these highways and byways and the trials and tribulations of this road called life. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen to
Amen.
that's the way you bring into a show. I forgot all about that. I have to say a few things about that, and we can get into this NFL. It's all NFL today. But I have to say this. First of all, it would have been an epic night. You would have Magic. You would have gone to the game, and everybody was going to be at Magic that night. It would have been lit. But two, Luke Cornett and Al Horford are far from the culture. And when I say culture, Javon, you know what culture I'm talking about. You're far from the culture. Why do those guys who, if they wasn't basketball players, would be lames in real life? Like they probably are lames in real life, but just should have no say or no pull. I didn't hear LeBron say it. I didn't hear Anthony Edwards say it. I didn't even say if Luka said it. I didn't hear any of that. So it's not even a white thing, black thing. No. Luke Cornett's voice. Who is Luke Cornett? Yes, he won an NBA championship for the Celtics, but he was the 9th, 10th guy on the team. Like, he's a solid backup. He's done a really good job backing up Wemby this year. I give him credit for that. But I just didn't like that part. And then Al Horford, he played in Atlanta for like 78 years. It's just like, what were we talking about? And the primary owner of the Hawks, Jamie Gertz, she was the executive producer of the Magic City Doc on Stars, and she was the one advocating putting this event together. So it's not just, I think people look at it as just a strip club. I've been to the strip club plenty of times, and you could go to the wings. You can go, people have corporate meetings there. Like, it's just, unless you're from the city, or if Luke Cornett played in the city, I understand. Al Horford, I'm disappointed in because he played in the city, so he should know what it means to him. But it is what it is. They're still going to do some form of it, but you can't pick and choose when you want to be Mr. Morale, like Kendrick said. You can't be Mr. You got to stay on one side or the other. And I think the NBA and these sports leagues fall short sometimes with what they conveniently want to be Black Lives Matter or end racism, and then conveniently they want to end DEI and some sort. Like, it doesn't. You want to curb the Rooney Rule. Like, I'm just not a big fan of the half stepping stuff.
Yeah, because I want to see how I want to work this. It's been more than a year in Syracuse, right? And I'm starting to understand just where the hell I'm living. I did not know until I was reading something our news desk had published one morning that this past election that Syracuse just had, like in the fall or the winter, whatever, they elected their first black mayor in city history.
Oh wow!
Heading into the year 2026. And now, Red Autry's probably gone tomorrow morning because Syracuse is going to lose to SMU in the ACC tournament this afternoon. And apparently, the convo on Twitter, and I'm not on Syracuse basketball Twitter. I just see from when my coworkers post their work. Apparently, Red Autry was a DEI hire now.
Come on. Was he the coach of Waiting?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
And recruited some of Boeheim's best guys in those last years. That going, and then I gotta combine that with the fact that one of my top sources, Sean, I gotta get out of college football because I can't fake the funk much longer. One of my top sources is a Trump idiot.
Yeah.
And I just gotta be on the phone. Yeah, man, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, so what you got for me today? Cool. Yeah, man, I'll call you next time I hear something. I got you. I can't do it. I had
you
to
can't
talk.
Fake the phone.
Boy, listen, I got on the phone with the parent of a kid who transferred, who I'd spoken to very consistently throughout the season. And I did not think I was going to get on my phone that Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, one of them, and hear the term wigger come out of his mouth. I said, yo, did this dude really just say wigger to me?
Wait, what context? Well, you can tell me afterwards, but
so his son was talking about one of his teammates and said he's more of a wigger.
Ooh,
and I'm like, but his son didn't say it. He put the words in his son's mouth. I'm like, yeah, man, what you got for me? Okay, boy, I gotta get out of college football, man, because like it is the sport for it. I can't, like, it's not just the SEC. It is college football. It is sewn into the very roots of college football, and there's a reason that they're trying to limit NIL now, because you just can't have a whole bunch of black kids around here making money. It just can't happen. So yeah, I got.
I want to advocate on this, and because I can say for this.
I just have never. I just never encountered that covering basketball. Never in life.
I'm not surprised.
Sport. No matter how much it gets infiltrated, it remains our sport at the core.
But imagine if you were working at Auburn or Alabama. No, like I gotta be real. Like I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me enough to work in those type of places. Even low key here in Atlanta, there's certain pockets of Atlanta or Georgia, excuse me, that still believe that.
Hey, we get raisins away from everybody for a reason.
Exactly. Let's call a spade a spade. Like, remember I told you that story? Yeah.
Like, Sean, that is still the funniest part of my Atlanta experience. Damn, the fun we had at the bar. And boy, did we have some fun. Seeing where that Braves ballpark was compared to where everything else was, it's still the funniest part of my trip to Atlanta.
Tells you everything you need to know about Atlanta. That part right there. One thing I would say is, yeah, get yourself out of college. Like it's just kind of what it is. It's kind of what it is. I could just imagine how they talk about those kids behind their back when they're not playing well.
I don't even want to know.
I definitely don't want to know. But I do think that, like, I'm not surprised.
Sean, I got another one for you. Forget this college football. Back to just knowing where I live. Yo. Respect to whoever going through whatever they going through, whatever. Have your own opinions on everything. I got my own personal experiences, whatever. Sean, I walked into the office one morning, opened up our company website, bro, and saw a story that had Underground Railroad in the headline, talking about hiding these cats from ICE. I said, yo, this ain't, nah. I know I'm not reading ICE fugitives and Underground Railroad and the same thing. Bro, They ain't running from slavery and rape and whippings and cannibalism.
Yeah.
They running from lacking documentation. What do we mean Underground Railroad? Man, I got to go. I got to go.
I think it made it cool when Trump became president again. That everybody, it was the first time, but now we see even more. They feel more liberated.
But
Again,
this is the so-called woke office.
oh, really?
That's my. I'm like, yo, Sean. I keep telling people we got to get away from that word because woke stopped meaning black a long time ago.
Oh, I don't even use that word.
Well, woke shifted to super left white women a long time ago. And I always go back. You a Boston dude. I always go back to your boy Bill Burr. Shut up and take your talking to, because you're the one encouraging your racist ass husband for every little thing he does. Shut up. So that's Bill Burr's best work ever, like this. So
Bill Burr is amazing.
I said, bro, ain't
I gotta be honest. I don't know what's worse, the MAGA movement or the woke movement. They're both in the same.
But we just
on different parallels.
Yeah,
it's too extreme. It's too extreme. What happened to the middle?
There's nothing wrong with it. There's a middle ground, man.
Yeah, we're too extreme now.
That's why me and you are right here. I cannot get. No, I can't do it. I can't get with the super Democrat stuff. I damn sure can't get with the super Republican stuff. I ain't no Stephen A. Smith. I'll tell you that much. And yeah, I'm glad he realized he ain't going to win no presidential bid. Go ahead. No, I'm actually mad about it. I wanted him to go. I wanted him to get out of sports.
I know. But we all knew that was just it was just yeah. But yeah, we're on the same page, man. I'm gonna be my family, everybody knows. Sean don't go this side or this side. He's gonna be wherever he feels. And I'm not. It's gotten too extreme for me. It's gotten too extreme.
Don't come talking to me about it either.
Yeah, don't exactly. It's just you have your opinions, I have my opinions. Because there's some of my good friends who are Trump supporter, right? And hey, we just don't talk about it. Like, because at the end of the day, I believe certain things, you believe certain things. Do I like certain things? Yeah. Do I like certain things on the side? Yeah. But I'm not going the extreme. It's gotten really nasty. Nasty is the word I could use.
Nasty. I'll tell you what though. It's the Trumper back in Baltimore and Dundalk's going crazy. The purple Maxx Crosby jersey with the camouflage pants is going to be
it's been crazy.
Fashion in Baltimore real soon. Anything anything in Baltimore that is just considered South, except for Southwest, you're going to see that outfit for the next 4 years. And I can let it slide because Maxx Crosby might be the one they need to stick on Lamar Jackson's ass. Ravens gave 2 first-round picks to the Vegas Raiders for Maxx Crosby, but the rest of the team is going under some major reconstruction. Draymond Jones left for the Patriots. Isaiah Likely, Darius Washington, and Jordan Stout joined John Harbaugh on the Giants. Tyler Linderbaum left for the Raiders, so we'll be talking about. Charlie Kolar left to go play for Jim Harbaugh on the Chargers. Alohi Gilman went to the Chiefs, but the Ravens did bring John Simpson back on a 3-year deal after he left for a year to go to the Jets, and the Ravens saw just how important he was to their old line. Before I let you start on the Crosby thing, Sean, I'm just getting this off my chest. Ravens fans, let whoever wants to go to the Giants, go to the Giants. You should be happy about it. They are the issues with the locker room. We don't need any Harbaugh guys around. Anyone who wants to go play or work for John Harbaugh, let them. That is the blessing in disguise coming down. Stop blocking your blessings. They just let God work.
Yeah, you don't think Likely's we'll talk about it. You don't think Likely's a L?
This is a good tight end draft, Sean. And when I did my daggone off-season simulator that I done found, that is great. Shout out to Stick to the Model. I'm looking at the draft and looking at the Ravens cap. I'm like, I think I'm gonna just let Likely and Kolar walk and just draft 2 tight ends and be fine. Now, you don't have this problem if, you don't give Mark Andrews a terrible extension. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
I was gonna talk about it.
You already know how I talk about these bad contracts and these GMs and these terrible decisions.
Mark Andrews 2 years ago, he was still a good player, but he's not. He's adequate at this point. All right, so let's just talk about Crosby. Would I normally give a 28-year-old with that type of contract, with coming off an injury, would I give up 2 first-round picks? Absolutely not. But do I think Crosby brings back? I think the Ravens. When I think about Baltimore, Pittsburgh. There's certain teams, even how New England played last year. I think of a certain style of football. I really do. I think like this is the style it should be played. Like the Miami Heat has to be a certain style of basketball, or whatever. I think he can bring that back. He can bring that old feeling back to you guys in Baltimore.
He can bring play like a Raven.
Yes.
Play like
yes.
a Jesse Minter calling that piece.
Oh, well, that was another thing. I thought Jesse's one of the guys. He's one of those guys. He's
and
not
McDonald's. He's supposed to be that. So you got on the inside. Oh.
You're gonna be good up front. Like and when Minter could do. Oh, I'm excited for what Baltimore. So would I normally give up those picks? Absolutely not. But he with this window, with this quarterback, with this this coach, head coach, defensive coordinator, whatever. I like the move a lot, and I like it for the Raiders too. I think the Raiders. We'll talk more about what they've done so far. Like the moves, you got to bring a culture. I believe in Kubiak, all sorts of stuff. But for Baltimore in a division that's wide open, you lost a lot of talent, but Crosby's that good of a difference maker. I was looking up some of his numbers. They were saying like his fourth quarter sacks, all sorts of stuff. You need, oh yeah, I'm beating the table. My bad. I just talk with my hands. My bad, you guys. So you gotta be able to sack the quarterback when he means something. I saw something, a crazy stat. The Ravens gave up, what was it, 2, 3, 4 quarter leads of 10 or more points last year. I'm like, you gotta be able to.
They give up multiple fourth quarter leads every year. It's a long draft. It's literally a picture out there where it's just score bugs stacked on top of score bugs, 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 showing the lead the Ravens had such and such lead in such and such game. And all of them represent games that the Ravens lost. It's a big picture, Sean. It's a real big picture.
It's a big picture. But again, I trust in Jesse. So far this offseason, you did lose Lindebar, which I think is a tough loss. And again, we'll talk about that.
But $27 million a year, you can let
mad. But remember, I said the last part, and I thought about it. I was sort of like, I'll talk to Javon about it on the pod. I wasn't mad for him not taking the extension because someone was going to pay him that money. And how many times at 25 are you going to get that type of bag as a center?
Hey, no, I ain't mad at him at all. For 27, hey, I'm happy for you. Go ahead. I can't get that to you over here, but I'm happy you got it over there. Congratulations.
Yeah. At 60 million, 60 M's guarantee as a center, I'm not mad at him. I would have gone to Vegas. And no disrespect to your place, I want to live in Vegas. Even though off the strip is not.
Hold on. Let's. I got a homeboy in Vegas. I done seen 50 million satellite overheads of Vegas. I had a worker that frequents Vegas. Ain't nothing to do with Vegas. The city ends and it's right in the desert. The strip is dead, and there isn't anything to do outside of the strip. Vegas is a dead town, and they need these sports teams to bring something back to it. And so far, the Aces are cool, but the W isn't there yet. The Golden Knights were hot when they started off. I'd still rather live in Baltimore than Vegas.
But then why do you think, and this, we just been all over the place today, but I got to ask, then why do you think it's such a push? I understand why Seattle definitely deserves a basketball team. But why is the push for Vegas to have an NBA team?
Because gambling's such a thing now. And some of these markets are just so small that it's like, you know what? Let's see if we can build Vegas into something. If you can get all the casinos and all that tied into these teams, and there is money in Vegas, then
there's money. Yeah, there's a lot of money. I would prefer Mexico City because it's like Toronto. That'll be the one country supporting that one team.
One team in that country.
Yeah. You know what I mean. But whatever. All right, but. Yeah, you guys got to win. I love Minter. I love what you guys do with the OC. I love in the moves what Baltimore is doing this offseason. Again, you lost a lot, but I really believe in Minter. I really do. I think he is below McDonald, but he's close. He could. And I want to see with his own team. You had to change the culture up, but it's all Lamar and what you guys do this offseason. What he does this offseason. He's going to be in OTAs. He's going to step up as a leader. We need all these different things from Lamar this year to take that next step. But so far, so good. You have to go get Crosby. And it may remind me of Les Snead. Les Snead's like F those first round picks. When you have an opportunity to be one of those teams every year, you got to go for it.
My only concerns are number one, Lamar, you still have not gotten your extension done. Could have sworn the goal was to get it done before all of this began, so they could have more money going into it. So you've dropped the ball again. Don't let Maxx Crosby be at OTAs and you aren't. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. That's number two. Number three, the Ravens still need help at corner and receiver. And you don't have a first round pick to address that. And you don't necessarily have the money to address that right now. So I don't know how that's going to get solved. You're going to have to get real creative in the draft and hope for some guys to fall. Because I don't want to hear anything else about giving Rashad Bateman a chance. We're going to stop calling Zay Flowers the number one.
Yeah.
We'll see if.
Hold on, Joe. I gotta say something. This people over hyping this number one receiver thing. Now everybody's number one. We'll talk about Pierce. Not everybody's number one, but keep going.
Yeah.
I grew up in an era where there was real number ones, and I hate to be like that, but not everybody's the number one.
Come on, I grew up. Number one meant AJ Green, Mike Evans, Julio Jones, Johnson, Antonio Brown, Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith, Vincent Jackson. That's a number one receiver. Derek Mason, like, come on, man. That's pump the brakes. All these small dudes that's just running around. No.
Zay Flowers is down number one, but keep going.
So all those, see what Declan Doyle can, be different than the guys Harbaugh hired and actually give Tez Walker a chance, who a lot of people like coming out of Carolina. See if a guy like Skylar Bell falls too late in the draft, who I think can actually produce in the NFL. See what happens to you. If you have to trade up in the second round to go get Chris Johnson out of San Diego State to boost that secondary, I think you do it. So this is not a Super Bowl roster at the moment, but it's closer. It's still, like you said, though, comes down to Lamar Jackson, because there are some things, a couple things can be cleaned up in the draft where it's like, hey, if he can just be somewhat competent in the postseason, then maybe he's got a chance instead of, disappearing in the second game like he always does. So we'll see.
Are you guys bringing Derrick Henry back?
I think this is either the last year or the penultimate year of his deal. But yeah, he's there this year. He's making $15 million this season.
Okay. Yeah, I like what's going on in Baltimore. And if, again, like you said, the Ross, let's see what the draft brings them, things of that nature, fill out the rest of free agency. But I like them. The only concern I would still have is the offensive line.
I think the line's fine.
You got to get a center.
Yeah, they'll get one in this draft. Stanley Rosengarten, Emory Jones, and John Simpson. I'm perfectly fine with that for if you get them a center.
Okay. Because you're making it seem like Lindenbar was not the best center in football.
No, he was. I'm just saying for $27 million. Whew, I didn't think he was going to get paid that much. That's why I was saying. Remember, I was saying bring him back.
Yeah.
$27 million. I'm like, ooh. All right, yeah, I understand why you had to let him go.
But the reason the Raiders could do that, they're not paying their quarterback when they're going to be doing the rookie scale. So it makes sense for the Raiders to do that.
Yeah. All right, Sean. Another GM who's working for his job right now, Brandon Beane up in Buffalo. Well, for me, over in Buffalo. The Bills acquired DJ Moore from the Bears for a second rounder. Bills fans are a little heated at this after the Pittman trade. So, the whole world knew the Colts wanted out of the Michael Pittman business for some reason, and turning things over to Alec Pierce. And the Steelers got him on the cheap. Everyone knew that the Bears wanted off of DJ Moore, and Buffalo ended up it seems like getting fleeced for a second rounder. Your thoughts?
I like the move because I just think it was more a casualty to the position he was put into, because you had a young Caleb Williams year one, and year two, Ben Johnson went into a whole different direction.
And
so
2 young receivers in Rome Odunze and Luther Burden.
Yeah, so it makes sense where the Bears were, and they phased them out a little bit. So it just made sense. Hey, you're going to be our third receiver. We're not paying you. We're paying you as the number one. So I don't see the lack of ability or a diminishing ability, or just the circumstances. With same, I'm not comparing him to Randy Moss, but I was using Randy Moss when he went to the Raiders. Was it Randy Moss' decline, or was it the circumstance? Because when we saw him in New England, it was up from there. So I think more. I'm glad they didn't go after. No disrespect to Stephon Diggs, he had a good year, but stop trying to get these older kind of rehab.
Fish to fry right now too.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring him back, or maybe bring him back as a second. I don't know, but they still got to do more with that receiver room. But more, I think it's just a casualty of the circumstances than an actual ability. I like him with Josh Allen, and I like Pittman, but I think Moore is just as talented as Pittman. So I'm not mad about that. A second round pick is steep, but you're betting, I'm betting, they're betting. I'm not speaking for you, but they're betting that, hey, it was the circumstances why there was such a decline over the last 2 years, rather than, because before that was 2 years, he was looked at as a top 10 receiver. I still think the ability is there. It's just the circumstances.
Is DJ Moore better than anything the Bills had last season or the year before? Yeah. Does he change everything that's wrong with the Bills? No. So, is it somebody who Joe Brady can move around? And Joe Brady had some success with him in Carolina. So he's somebody who can move around and Josh Allen can get the ball too, yes. But is that going to solve Josh Allen in his third game of the playoffs? Is that going to solve the way their defense crumbles in their third games of the playoffs?
No.
Is that going to solve when teams don't underestimate James Cook the way they did last year, and he goes back to just being, instead of 1,500, plant 1,000? No. O-line's got a little bit of rebuilding that it's doing. So, the Bills, still not runaways in the East. They're not champions anymore, So, Josh Allen had someone more reliable to throw the ball to, I guess. But the Bills still have big issues. The thing with the Ravens and the Bills, could the rosters use work? Yes. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to mentality and having some balls in the playoffs. That's all it comes down to, those two teams. Can they stop being afraid and pissing down their leg when the lights are the brightest? Like, a lot of their issues in the playoffs, Sean, for both teams, haven't even been roster affiliated. They've just been straight up mental.
Yeah. They gotta get over the hump. At least you keep getting close, getting close. You gotta at least get to the Super Bowl. And I don't know if either of those teams got to the Super Bowl this year. They were going to beat Seattle the way that defense was playing, right? Seattle and the Rams were the two best teams. But yeah, I think I completely agree in this aspect. You can make all the splashy moves you want, but we got to see you do it when the pressure's on, because we have to see both of those teams falter. When we can say the Bengals have been to a Super Bowl before you guys, I don't even know what to say about that.
I'll tell you this, though. The Bengals days are done. I'm be honest with you. Y'all can call me cruddy. I got a Bengals fan homeboy. We was messing with him in the Xbox party Friday night. Once that Maxx Crosby trade went through and the whole world realized, hold on, Joe Burrow got to run from Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and Maxx Crosby 6 times a year. And then you saw how pissed Jamar Chase was.
Oh, he was heated.
Bro, I was telling him, I said, bro, Joe Burrow going to get a season injury against one of them teams. Who you bet? Who are you betting this going to be against? I said, I'm calling a torn Achilles running away from Myles Garrett this year. I ain't wishing it on him, But
Damn.
that is Joe Burrow's career. Yo, we gonna stop trying to protect Joe Burrow like he ain't Anthony Davis and Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill and all them.
Yeah.
Injury is a part of his story arc.
Yeah.
Every season. He gonna be running away from one of them. I ain't wishing it on him, but if it happens, just know I'm coming here and tell you, I told you so. And I'm gonna blame him because once again, you told the Bengals to draft Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell. And then once you did that, you told them to pay T. Higgins, who you did not need, because Andre Yoshivach has been a good number 2 for you. You've always had a good number 2 when T. Higgins goes down. And you told them to pay for him. And now your team has lost Trey Hendrickson this year. And your team lost Jesse Bates a couple years ago. And your team has no one that's worth a damn on defense. So it's on you. He's going to get hurt again this year. Playing them 3 dudes 6 times a year, it's going to happen. He's going to get hurt again. It's going to be nobody's fault but Joe Burrow's.
And again, I've been a big Joe Burrow guy, but I've not heard once that he tried to restructure his deal to give them cap space. They haven't done nothing in free agency so far. Obviously, it's day one. I don't know. Yeah, if I will not be surprised if Joe or Jamar or T someone's accident out after the season this year, because they're gonna have to do another 30-point per game type of season with a horrible defense. It's bad. I don't get it.
They're going to stay because they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want in Cincinnati. That means more than winning to these athletes today.
That's why I like your owner. I can't give the flowers to my players. I still
Dolphins get A on the report card every year.
Yeah,
I ain't got nothing to show for it. Oh man, I can't wait till we talk about them too. Boy,
oh yeah.
Yesterday was a great day in Black history. Great day.
We're definitely gonna be talking about them. But yeah, I just let's see how it goes for those two teams, Baltimore and Buffalo.
All right, what's next, Sean?
So the 49ers signed Mike Evans to a 3-year, $42 million deal. He leaves Tampa Bay. And very classy by his agent to come out and said Tampa did everything they could to keep him. He just wanted a new challenge. What do you think about him picking the 49ers and what he brings to the 49ers?
This is better than Deebo Samuel. This is better than Brandon Ayuk. This is better than Jamal Jennings. This is good to pair with Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
They finally have a guy they're in the squeeze. Hey, you throw it up to Kittle in the short and intermediate game. Now you got the guy you throw the jump ball to 30 yards down the field in the end zone and let him make a punt. Now, the problem is Mike Evans is getting older. He finally missed 1,000 yards last year because he got hurt. And we know the 49ers, that's injury city, USA. Because they practice next to that electromagnetic field or whatever, which apparently is just terrible for soft tissue. So you hope that doesn't affect him. But other than that, it's great for them. I want to talk about Tampa real quick.
Yeah, it's about Tampa.
Which I was going to wait 2 segments to do, but it's only so much you can say about Mike Evans going to the 49ers. Great move. Push them right back in the conversation for the playoffs. It's just, can they figure out Mike McDonald's defense for the first time ever? Because they've been getting whooped by Mike McDonald since Christmas of 2024. This is going to be Todd Bowles and who's the GM? Is it Jason Licht over there?
Jason Licht, yep.
This is going to be their last year. No. Because just losing Mike Evans aside and losing Jamal Dean aside, you got some real issues on the team. And what's the first thing I see yesterday that the Buccaneers did? Sign Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell was great last season.
Yeah, for the Steelers.
Don't you already have Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, and Sean Tucker? What you asking for your running back room for? That's the least of your concerns.
Yeah. Defensive backfield.
Your corners have been terrible. Y'all didn't have black corners when you won the Super Bowl. The front seven was so good, and Antoine Winfield could clean things up on the back end that the Chiefs couldn't even really abuse your corners. But they were bad then, and they've gotten worse ever since.
Yeah,
You
completely.
don't. Your tight ends don't produce touchdowns. You just lost Evans. Godwin's probably a shell of himself. And your solution is add another running back.
I do like that wide receiver. What's his name? The
And
third
Puka,
one. Yeah, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be
yeah,
really good.
but all right, so you can take the receiver concerns out. You still got everything else.
Yeah, tight ends. I
Oh,
when
line,
I
D line.
the D line, the cornerbacks are horrible. I think they have
Y'all
one of the
blew a
lowest
lead
secondaries.
in the NFC South this season. Running back is the last place you need to spend your money. Like, we're going to talk about the Chiefs. I'm glad they signed Kenneth Walker. Because running back was the last thing they needed to draft ninth overall. This
Yeah.
is the last year for that regime in Tampa. Lord have mercy.
Oh,
And Todd Bowles, that's a Temple grad. Much love to the brother. But yeah,
no.
it's time. It's over.
I said he should have lost his job at the end of the last season. I gotta be honest. That Carolina team was not good to me, even though great shown in the postseason.
And now
against the
Carolina
Rams.
is probably the best team in the South.
I was just gonna say that. Now Carolina, I'm picking Tampa right now. I might even pick Atlanta over them. Third in that division.
Penix and Tua. Nah, my man Baker ain't. Baker ain't never finishing lower than Penix and Tua. Nah.
This is the only thing, Javon. I gotta say it. When I heard Evans would leave it, and the reason he left, that was an indictment on Baker, Todd Bowles, and the general manager. That was the indictment because he was like, if Brady was still there or another comparable quarterback or coach, you think he would have left to go to San Francisco? And not saying San Francisco is not a better option for a Super Bowl. Absolutely. But he's basically saying, I trust Brock, which I think Brock is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Like, I'm just going to be real. I like Baker, but I trust Brock. And the most important thing, I trust Lynch and I trust Shanahan. That's what it said to me. Those three things, right when I saw that statement, I want another challenge, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm like, no disrespect for San Francisco, but hell no, I'm not leaving Tampa Bay in the state taxes to move to California, and especially not San Francisco. I'm going to LA. Like, no disrespect. So you're losing money going there, but it showed me he believes more in the quarterback. He believes more in the head coach for sure, because Shanahan's one of the best coaches in the league, and he believes in Lynch and those guys to use, because he signed a 3-year deal. It's probably like a year-to-year deal for the last couple of years of his career. That's an indictment. That showed me that Tampa is on the downside. I completely agree with you. That's their last year. And I got to say this. Baker was in the MVP conversation, but he wasn't good the second half of the year last year. He wasn't. Let's call a spade a spade. He was not good. He needs to have a better showing this year, or I think Tampa will be looking at other options at quarterback next year.
I will say his second half, Baker had a new injury every week. Baker was going through it. Again, okay. That O-line let him down. You spent your money on a running back. Remember, Baker had daggone, his stolen shoulder was gone. I want to say he had a lower body injury too. He got put through the ringer last season. Now I want to sound like I'm on here making excuses for Baker Mayfield. I'm calling it like it is. Like,
call it like it is, yeah.
His O-line let him down last year. And then let's remember, Booker had that hot start, and then he caught a case of the drops.
He did. He wasn't good.
Quarter of the season. So, like, Tampa, you just had you just had bigger fish to fry than adding Kenneth Gainwell to an already good run.
That team, they should have owned that South for the last 3-4 years. And yeah, man, I have no idea what's going to go on in Tampa, but they look like one of those middle teams. And again, when your star players, like I want to go to better places. And if you look at it, besides the money situation and losing all that money, it's a better situation in San Francisco by far.
All right, Sean, the Raiders, we touched on earlier, they're spending money. Signed Tyler Linderbaum to a record deal at center. Took Quay Walker from the Packers and Kobe Dean from the Eagles. I mean, you can argue that Vegas has the best linebackers room in football, just like that. And then signed Kwity Paye from the Colts. The Colts have lost a lot this offseason. Clint Kubiak, it seems like he's not wasting time on the rebuild. I think they're ready to go. You get Mendoza number 1. You're going to get something good at 14 from the Ravens. The Raiders, just like that, might be a sneaky wild card team.
Oh, whoa. I think I think Mendoza is definitely going to be ready to play. So day one, he should be your starter. I do like the weapons they have, but they're building it, and I like that. And that division is tough. That division is tough. But they're building it. They're building it the right way. When you get someone like Kubiak, who we're very high on, I think you want him to be a Ravens coach at some point too. So I think he's going to be really good. Get your own guys, but the key is Mendoza. You got Lindenbar, who I think is the best center in football. They're making the right moves. Again, do I see them making the postseason next year? No, but they got 2 first round picks this year, got 2 first round picks next year. Just build it nice and slow and steady. That's why I think what's happened since they moved to Vegas. They keep switching regime. Stick with Kubiak. Let Brady and Spytek have the control. Let them do it, and let's see them build it out the right way. They're off to a really good start, and they have the money to spend. Again, do I think they're going to do a New England and suddenly be a Super Bowl team next year? I don't think so, but I never thought New England was going to be in the Super Bowl next year. But I wouldn't put them, but I'd say build it the right way, and getting Mendoza, getting Lindenbar, getting Dean, getting all those guys is the right way. The Raiders are on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, they'll replace. Okay, they won't replace Crosby, but they'll get a good defense and add 14.
But when they had Crosby, their defense wasn't good.
Yeah, and you've added around it. So you got
Yes.
Crosby on one side. You're going to get somebody for the other side at 14. You're getting your quarterback at 1. You got Jency. You got 2 tight ends over there. Like you're what are you doing? You finishing out your O-line and adding to your receivers room? By the end of this draft and next draft, Vegas is going to be set. They're going to be set.
Yes. Over the next couple of years, we'll be having a different conversation about the Raiders. But good start for them. Good start.
This is what the Raiders are supposed to look like. Not being afraid to spend money, but spending it on the right players.
Yes, exactly. And they got the right coach now. I'm pretty sure Kubiak came there with a lot more say than most first-year coaches did. Because look what he did in his last start with Seattle. He could have took the Cardinals job. So I think he has a lot more say. I have a lot of faith in Kubiak, and let's see what they do. But I like what they're building. Again, slow. They need to just be slow. Next year, get another top 10 pick, but more in the back half for the top 10. You already have your quarterback. Just keep adding around him. It's going to be a really good receiver core next year. Supposedly, we'll see. They're on the right track. All right, the Steelers back. They acquired Michael Pittman Jr. and Rico Dow from the Panthers. Wow, I didn't even know that till I just saw that right now. With Mike McCarthy and their unknown quarterback situation. What's your thoughts about these moves?
If you're Aaron Rodgers, why don't you come back? You're familiar with McCarthy. Your running back room got better. So what is it? Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, and Rico Dowdle. I like that run. But forget all that. I can throw the ball to DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. What this showed me is that the Steelers are actually serious about changing their ways, or at least somewhat serious, which is more than what they've been in past years. They would not add Michael Pittman with a DK Metcalf 3 years ago or 4 years ago. They just wouldn't. So this shows me they at least recognize in some sense that they needed to change. If I'm a quarterback and I get to throw to those two, I'm happy. Why don't I come back? Now they can spend their whole draft on O-line and rebuilding that defense. And they're fine. They don't need to add to the tight end room. They don't need to add to the running backs room. They don't need to add to the receivers room. You got those two plus Calvin Austin in the slot. Just like that. With good coaching, I'm afraid of Steelers again. I can actually look forward. Like the Ravens Steelers rivalry ain't going to be the battle of just 2 disappointing coaches anymore. That's going to be a good smash mouth football game with 2 competent football teams. This is great for the AFC North. It's great for football. I love it. Steelers, y'all got an A yesterday.
Good moves. I didn't know this on Rico until right now. I'm like, wow, that's a really good move. I like the Pittman move. But the only thing is, what did Aaron show you yet last year to make you think he could still be more than a top tier quarter, like in the middle pack?
With any other with any of them small change quarterbacks that were available last year, Steelers are a 6-win team. With Tua, that's a 6-win team. With Mike Penix, that's a 6-win team. With Daniel Jones, that's a 6-win team. With Sam Darnold, that's a 6-win team. The list goes on and on. Aaron Rodgers made that team better than what it should have been.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He wasn't. So, all right. So, what I would say is this: those moves entice me, but they got to give me an offensive line, and they have to improve the defense because I'm coming back to win Super Bowls, not to win divisions and lose in the first round. But why won't they go after Kyler Murray? Like, if I'm Pittsburgh, this is my thing with Pittsburgh is at some point you got to be able to find your quarterback, and I think Kyler with the right coaching, the right system that holds him accountable. Because the one thing I have to say is, well, Dak was good last year too, but McCarthy can coach quarterbacks. If I'm them, whose ceiling is more high right now? Is it Rodgers for 1 year? Or maybe you find your quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years or longer for Kyler Murray. Kyler's not even 30 yet, right?
Why can't I let Kyler sit and learn behind Rodgers for a year, which would be great for him?
I wouldn't be mad at that either. A redshirt year, if he feels like that's best for his career, why not sit for a year? I'm not mad about that. Like, if I'm him, I'm looking at because Atlanta's off the board now. We'll talk about them and that stupid move. But why not sit behind Rodgers for a year? Or why not? It's either them or Minnesota. I got to learn. I got to learn to become a pro. I got to learn how to become a quarterback because I want to play for the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, I'm not mad. Pittsburgh did a great job yesterday. That's some really good moves. Is if you say I can get a combination of Rodgers and Murray, then it's a win. It's a win. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know if I just thinking Rodgers with that defense. I just don't see it. But again, good moves, good start, and it's a place that a quarterback should look at. But if you're talking about them bringing Kirk Cousins in or any of those other guys, I'm off the bandwagon with that.
Like I said, I think they did enough to convince Rodgers to come back, which is a big deal for them. So Aaron with DK and Pittman, with Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth, and Calvin Austin. Like he might not be happy about losing Gainwell because he loved throwing to Kenneth Gainwell last year. But this is pretty solid.
That's really solid. Good pickup. I like Rico a lot. So I like those moves.
All right, Sean, the Panthers, who we just said the South might belong to them, they had their defense, got Devin Lloyd out of Jacksonville to shore up their linebacker spot, Jalen Phillips to replace Brian Burns over there at outside linebacker. The guy I know I wanted the Ravens to trade for last year before he was traded for him. Is that Carolina's division?
Yeah, good moves by Carolina. I think they saw, hey, the South is open, which is open. And we saw some improvement from Bryce Young last year. So to believe like, hey, maybe it's time. Again, it's the slow build. We build. We got to our 8-9 record, made the playoffs, made it very competitive against a Rams team that I thought that was going to blow them out. So I'm all in on it. I'm all in for those moves. This improves their defense, which was, I think they were middle of the pack last year, but I like it. I like it. Losing Rico hurts a little bit. But that division, they're better than I would pick them over Tampa, and I don't believe in a Tua Michael Penix combination in Atlanta. And who else is that? And New Orleans is probably another year or two away. So yeah, good move. The key for them is like anything. How much more Bryce Young improves because they picked up his 5th-year option, but there's no extension talk. This is a make or break year for Bryce Young, but great move. He makes the playoffs. They get to 10-7, 11-6 in that division. We can have a conversation.
I look at that team that overachieved. That Uncle's happy about because at least he lives in the Charlotte area now, and he had an excuse not to have to watch the Ravens. This makes that team go from they overperformed last year to, okay, now they got a roster to where they can actually do something. And Canales is the coach over there. I trust him with the offense. I would love if they got a number 2 next to Ted McMillan because that receiver core really let them be down against the Rams. Xavier Legette, like I'm sick of talking about him every year. He just doesn't have it. Like, yeah, okay, he's a country boy who eats raccoon and squirrel. I don't give a damn. You can't play receiver in the National Football League. So add to that, I losing Rico Dowdle hurts. I like Chuba Hubbard? Yes, but Rico Dowdle gave them something different that ultimately got them into the playoffs. His change of pace is what let them win enough games while Tampa was sliding to get into the postseason. So they still got some offense to address, but as of right now, I don't see why they can't be the favorites in the South. But we do have to remember the Saints took forever in the day to start Tyler Shuck and still finished just 2 games out of that division.
Yeah.
A solid offseason, and we could be talking New Orleans and Carolina being the top 2 teams in that division, which is saying something about what is happening in Atlanta with this quarterback's run. Because when you got Bijan Robinson, Michael Pittman, and Kyle Pitts as your offense, you should be the best team in that division. But then you got Michael Penix can't stay healthy.
No.
And he hasn't shown us anything great yet. Tua's not good. And then your defense just lost your best pass rusher because he just crashed out. I mean, oh. And you don't know which Kevin Stefanski you're going to get. Are you going to get Coach of the Year Kevin Stefanski, or are you going to get Petty 2025 Kevin Stefanski? You don't know.
You don't know. It's up in the air. Damn. So you're saying the Saints are? I just don't want the Saints to overrush the rebuild, because I've been saying for years they need.
It's not that. It's just the fact that they're in a bad division. They can luck into it. They finished 2 games out, and that was with Rattler and taking forever to start Shuck, who came in and balled.
He did play surprise,
but
a lot of people.
All my eggs in that basket because I need consistency. Because remember, I was down on him as a prospect.
You are.
And played solid last year. So let's see if we can do a full season. Because remember, I hated Will Levis as a prospect. And he actually looked halfway decent. His like for like 6 games with Tennessee.
And then crashed.
And then the full year, he just was awful. So
yeah, he was horrible.
Yeah, you still got to show me something in this full season.
Yeah, but he's definitely a starter. I will have to see. I would see. But the key is if Bryce Young, he showed me a glimpse last year that he could take the step. I got to see it. Like, I got to see it. I need him to go off to a fast start. Or is he just a game manager who makes some plays here and there? Is he more of like a Geno Smith guy? This is a big year for him. If I'm Carolina, this is we either going to go get a quarterback in next year's draft, or this is the guy we're signing to a big deal. Oh, man. When we talk about Tua, I'll be sick if I don't have the guy and I have to make a decision. It's like trying to be married. And you like, ooh, I still have insecurities about this girl or whatever. And you just force yourself to get married. It doesn't end up well. So that's my only thing about Carolina. If I'm the ownership and the coach, this is a big year because I don't want to sign him. He has a big year. And it was fool's gold. But we'll see. All right. So the Eagles depleted. They lost Phillips. They lost Dean. They lost Blankenship. All from the Super. Well, Phillips wasn't on the Super Bowl team, but from last year's defense. What's your thoughts about the Eagles?
So, how long have we been saying the Eagles need a safety?
For the last 2 years.
You lost your best one. So now Andrew McCuba getting thrown into the fire. See what you got. Still need an outside corner because they want Cooper DeJean in the slot, right? And their needs are a little different because they are a zone defense. Quinyon Mitchell is a zone corner, number 1 corner, but a zone corner. And Cooper DeJean's a slot guy. So you're looking for another zone corner. And the last time they tried to bring one of those in was James Bradbury, who they had to run out of town because he turned into some hot garbage at the end. Linebacker was a concern for the Eagles a few years ago. Adjusted when they brought T.J. Edwards in. Lost him. Drafted Kobe Dean. Did solid. Added Zach Bond. Pretty good. And then you lose Dean again. So we're going to see. So then you lose Dean. So we're going to see if you can replace that production at linebacker. And then it's been a revolving door at DN/outside linebacker because they've been multiple. Bryce Huff, you lost Hassan Reddick. Couldn't come to a contract extension with him. You swung and missed on Bryce Huff, which made you have to go trade for Phillips. And then you lose Phillips. So are you guaranteed to replace that production on the edge? I mean,
you only
it's
get
not a guarantee. I mean, listen. Before these last couple years, the NFC East was known for not repeating. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This might be Dallas' time to return.
we're on the same page.
We're
on the same page.
You lose
on the same page.
Defense. We know your offense is sick of Jalen Hurts. We don't know what's going to happen with AJ Brown. You lose him, you're really in trouble. Apparently, you're going to lose Dallas Goedert. You didn't get Charlie Kolar or Isaiah Likely. So I guess your attention turns to Chico Conkwell. Like, we'll see if you replace him. Although I like Grant Calcaterra and Colin Granson. But we don't know if they're number one tight end yet. This might be time for Dallas to go ahead and, get them a little taste of the championship again.
I think that I completely agree with everything you said. I can't even argue it. I know we're supposed to debate, but I agree with everything you said about the Eagles. And I really do agree about Dallas. I think Dallas have 2 first-round picks in this draft. We can talk about them, some of the moves they made. Woo, but the thing is, it comes down to this. This is the way the NFL works. You cannot retain all your talent. And that defense was the reason they won that Super Bowl against the Chiefs 2 years ago. You can't keep everybody. You can't pay everybody. DeJean, Mitchell, and Carter are the linchpins to that defense. So you have to be able to build around those guys for the next 5 to 10 years, and everybody has to be replaceable. So we all believe in Harvey Roseman. If he's not 1, he's top 2, top 3 of executives. So we believe in him. But now let's see him. They got a lot of holes on that defense now. And like you said, there's no outside pass rush consistently. So yeah, I think the Commanders made some moves. I'm more high on what some of the Giants done this offseason than you are. And then the Cowboys. Like, that division is not going to be easily sewed up, and it's going to be
the Giants are going to be better. Yeah, I won't argue that. But I'm just not losing sleep over them because I know who the head coach is and what their culture is going to be. And it's going to be a culture choke artist. So it doesn't matter. And they don't, to me, I still don't think they have their quarterback. I'm not a Jackson Dart guy. So we're going to see.
Well, that's what I think. That's where we detour. The biggest detour is I'm a Jackson Dart guy. You're not. I think he has something. I'm like, he can be another. I'm not saying he's going to be top 5, top 10, but he has that grit to him. He'll be able to make plays, and he could eventually develop. So the key is Jackson Dart to me. But they're accumulating some. They have talent already. They're adding to it. Don't sleep on the Giants. They're gonna be much better this year. Definitely.
But Matt Nagy as his coordinator, John Harbaugh as his head coach, and his college coach was Lane Kiffin, who is known for not being able to produce an NFL quarterback. Yeah, good luck. You're betting against too much history for me.
Listen, and I'll say it like this. I'm gonna just say it. Jackson Dart has been more impressive in that 1 year than any of the years Bryce Young has played quarterback to me.
I think we're doing too much. We're letting the team morale impact how we grade the actual football. We know the Giants hated Russell Wilson's guts.
Yes.
That's okay. We can admit they love Jackson Dart way more, and he gave them a confidence boost, and the morale was much better with him. That does not mean he's automatically some good football.
You think he's just like a character or something? He played good inspiring football. That's why they were around him. The swag, everything. It wasn't like he just played horrible football.
Yeah, and they ain't producing no wins either. So we'll see.
We'll see. They didn't produce any wins. That's why they made a change at the head coach position. But I think they got their guy. We'll see. Big year for him.
That's one we're just gonna have to keep tabs on. Sean, the Dolphins are rebuilding. Traded Minka Fitzpatrick to the Jets, who starting to build their defense out. We lose Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb this offseason. To a $99 million dead cap hit. Woo!
Oof. So this is the thing. It comes down to this. You cannot. You have to know. You got to know. Like it's use the marriage analogy. If you don't know, then you don't know, and you just can't. You go year to year or let the person walk. Like if you have 4 good years, 5 good years, 5 years to sign a guy, and they only had 1 out of 5 good years, I can't give you the $200 million max, and it's because of this. This is what this is the highest dead cap spaces after Russell Wilson. It's a blueprint they showed it could work. There's a blueprint that shows it could work in Miami, because what Denver's did. But you got to hit on the quarterback. And are we talking about Willis? Oh yeah. Well, we're here right now. Willis. If Willis get hit and you're not paying him, he got 45 million guaranteed, but you're not paying him 50, 60 what the quarterbacks normally get, you can build this back up really quick. But if not, I think they're in a win-win situation. Because I love when I saw Sullivan, the general manager, say, "Hey, we're going to take a cracks at this quarterback position." So you got Ewers in the building, you got Willis in the building now. Let's see if your quarterback's there. If not, you have supposedly a good draft next year, and you're going to be in the top 10 picks, or probably even worse. You got to get as many cracks at the app because you got to find the quarterback. You got to find the guy. You got to find the face of the franchise. So I like what they're doing in Miami. Tua had to go. And again, you just go cheap around the perimeter because the goal is to find if you have something now. And again, it's not really to compete for playoffs or to championships or anything like that. Your goal is to see if you find your quarterback and then you build around that. This is a good quarterback class coming up next season, supposedly. Because again, everything's supposedly until they get into the field. But you got 2 cracks with those 2 young guys. Build it out. So these next 2 years, if you have the mindset, we're not going to be big spenders and we're not going to really compete. We're just trying to build and figure out who can stay for the regime, who can't. I like the mindset when Miami is done. Miami's doing the right thing. That team had to be blown up.
No arguments for me.
Yeah.
First of all, the one I feel bad for in this situation is Bradley Chubb. Because he had no business. Everything went downhill for him when he tore his ACL against the Ravens, and he had no business being in the game. Like Baltimore was kicking Miami's ass. No starters had any business being in the game. And he tore his ACL. So he was a casualty of war. Tyreek Hill had I talked about Calvin Porter and Miles Bridges in the NBA. Tyreek Hill was right there with them. And Tua just was not that guy. Miami had gotten soft.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. You fired Brian Flores in large part because he was too tough on Tua, who he told you was not the guy.
Yep.
2 years later, Brian Flores and his defense were a big reason the Vikings went 14-3 in 2024. And you are just took on the biggest dead cap hit ever and releasing Tua. Like I said, great day in Black history. All power to the people. I'm happy for my boy Flores, man. He should get a head coaching job today. Somebody should just fire Cincinnati. Just go ahead and fire Zach Taylor today and get a job to Brian Flores. Off that alone. Oh my goodness. Y'all want to start listening. I don't understand these front offices. Every time a defensive head coach tells us their quarterback is not the guy, they're right.
Yeah.
Just go right back to Brian Flores and Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer told y'all not to draft Kellen Mond. He told y'all Kirk Cousins wasn't the guy. You didn't listen. And what did Mike Zimmer do? He took it to an NFC championship with Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Brian Flores told him Tua ain't the guy. And Tua looked like dog doo-doo ever since. And he's got scrambled eggs for brain right now. Y'all got to start listening to these defensive head coaches when they tell you a quarterback ain't the guy. If anybody would know if a quarterback is good or not, it would be a defensive head coach, would it not?
Yeah. Again, I gotta be honest. I was wrong on Tua. I liked him coming out of Alabama. I thought he was going to be the left-handed Drew Brees. The guy's soft. The guy doesn't have any arm strength. Yeah, he's not a great leader. He looks kind of chubby, out of shape.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Accountability, you did him right.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, terrible leader. I don't know what they think they're doing in Atlanta.
call out
Atlanta
your teammates in the same game that you throw 3 interceptions. Yeah, hell,
makes no
okay.
sense. Calling,
What I say when I'm talking, when I hear a quarterback up at the podium, I don't want to hear we. I want to hear me.
yeah, same. That's the number one thing. Simple as that. I don't want to hear anything. Yeah, I would have got fired because I would have took 2 over Justin Herbert. And yeah, he got like just a horrible, just not a good quarterback. No arm strength. Like I don't know what they're
No,
doing in Atlanta. Huh?
no mobility.
No
Well,
mobility.
I should say.
I just don't get what they're doing in Atlanta. I have no. I'm so confused. I thought Matt Ryan, the guy. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be new. I have no idea what they're doing now. Doing disservice for their football team, but
Hey, at least
Miami's
you can
doing
go
the right
watch
thing.
the Georgia game if you want to. You ain't got to go watch the Falcons on Sunday.
You
can go
you
out
don't
there.
have to. Yep. And so I don't know what they're doing, but shout out to Miami because you know how I feel. I feel like you got to get enough bites at the apple to find that quarterback. And basically, it's a 1-2 year deal for Willis because again, he can play your starter this year. If it doesn't work out, you bring Ewers in, and then you cut, and then both of those guys could be your backup while you groom a young guy. I like the move. It makes sense to me.
I mean, hey, just with Devon A-Chain's speed and ability at running back, you're really just hoping on Jalen Waddle staying healthy. Because if you do that, that defense is going to be bad, but you can limp through the season on the offense with a very RPO heavy offense and create some explosive plays with Willis, A-Chain, and Waddle. So, and then I think Braxton Berrios is still down there, right?
Yes.
So, I mean,
I think
that
so. Yeah.
offense can actually be somewhat solid. You know, Berrios is with Houston now.
Oh, it did.
That offense can be some type of. They can produce plays at certain times. I'm saying because they just got a lot to build down there. The
It's not
running
the
back
best.
room is solid. They don't have a tight end. They don't have pass catchers. They don't have an offensive line. That defense has been golly. I'm looking at the depth chart. It just got bad in Miami real fast. So like you said, just tear it down to the bare bones.
You're rebuilding.
Yeah,
You're rebuilding. You're basically giving Willis a 2-year window because even if you draft a quarterback next year, you can still have Willis as your starter. And if he plays better this year,
go ahead.
No, if he plays well this year, then you have your long-term starter for cheap, and you could build it out the way you want to build it out. But it's that team clearly wants to. I don't care what anyone says. And you're not a big fan of Arch, but no one can tell me the Cardinals or Miami Dolphins are not purposely tanking to try to get Arch Manning just because of what they will be able to build around him in the Manning family. No one can tell me any difference.
I think they're tanking for a quarterback. But I'll tell you what, Devon A-Chain probably is running back 1 in fantasy next year. Because boy, he is going to get the football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why not? There's nothing else. There's nothing else. The only thing I would say about this and this last thing, I saw an interview with David Fizdale, and he was like, "Hey, I would never trade in my record. The next job. Taking these bad jobs. Look at Will Hardy, for example. I was thinking about Will Hardy when I heard that.
It's different in basketball than in football, though.
Why?
Because football, you get to stick around through the rebuild as the head coach. It's like you actually showed something. You get to stick around through the rebuild. Basketball, they literally hire you to lose and then get rid of you and bring somebody else in.
I think it does damage to you doing that sometimes because, for example, what was the guy who did the process? Brett Brown? Now he's a career.
He coached a couple of the playoff years. He just didn't have it. Like, he is Greg Popovich's assistant, but he wasn't Greg Popovich.
But to never get another job?
Did he coach them to the playoffs, or did they just draft Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and trade for Jimmy Butler?
Damn. So you're saying he gets no credit for that?
None. Did you watch them in the playoffs under Brett Brown?
But that's the problem. Why the hell would I want a job like that? It's a no.
That's the NBA. Yeah, I would not take a rebuilding job in the NBA. No. Yeah, that's my whole point.
For
That's
example,
how the NBA. I don't think the NFL works like that, Sean.
we both think Will Hardy's a really good coach. I think Will
Yeah.
Hardy could do what Boston's do with Joe Mazzulla. No disrespect to
Yeah,
Mazzulla.
absolutely.
I think he's a really good coach. But no one can tell me that I'm going to put all these losses on my record, and
Oh
then
no.
if we good, we're going to start getting. I'm going to get fired. Will Hardy should be able to get a 5-year extension at the top of that. I don't know if he got a new extension, but I think Utah will be a top 6 seed next season. I really do. I like that the talent on that team
It
a
can
lot.
be, yeah. I think Keontae
Yeah.
George is going to be an all-star next season. But again,
Easily.
that's the NBA. It works completely different than the NFL.
Yeah, well, I can't think of a quarterback, a guy who came in to do a rebuild and stayed 5 after the rebuild. I can't think of one.
Shanahan had to rebuild with San Fran.
Good point.
Remember, he took over Jim Tom Sula's mess.
And he got a 6-year deal. And he had power. But
he's still there. And Sean McVay took over a mess in LA.
But the problem is, my only thing is this, right? These guys getting 5-year deals, 6-year deals, whatever the case may be. But if you go to a place like Miami, we clearly we need to be rebuilt, right? Do you he's not Shanahan. He's not coming there with say like that. He's just not half.
It's a
he's
partnership,
not
though. They
with Sullivan.
pretty much the whole Packers
Green Bay's front off. Okay, let's see how it works. I just don't. It doesn't usually work. But
it's it's a partnership in the NFL. It's completely different. It's nothing like the NBA.
Good point. Because I just don't think it's fair for coaches. That's what I was thinking when I heard that. But if Hafley gets the opportunity, because it's a clear rebuild, no one can tell me anything. Miami is that team. You just the roster are rebuilding. He should be able to get his guys, get the system in place, and get another 3-4 years after that. Just my personal opinion.
All right, we got some quick ones here. The Chiefs signed Kenneth Walker. Sean, for me, that was all about making sure they can do what they need to do at number 9, and either build that O-line or replace both their starting corners who left for the Rams, or adding something else on the. I think that just made them say we're not drafting Jeremiah Love at number 9 and preventing ourselves from making that mistake.
I wouldn't draft him if I have the kid from Utah on the board, Fano, the offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what got Mahomes hurt in the past. They can't protect him.
You can't protect him. You got to go get the offensive lineman. And because Mahomes is only 31 years old, you still got another 5-10 years with him. So you got to go find an offensive lineman.
I probably won't go 10 with Mahomes. That's a very improvising quarterback. They should be happy if they've got him
5
good football through 35.
Good point. Yeah, Mahomes. Not again. Like I tell everybody, not everybody's going to be Brady. No, that's rare.
Now I know Rodgers is still around and he's been in the pocket, so Mahomes can switch to that, but he won't be Mahomes anymore. Just like Rodgers ain't Rodgers.
No, because if Brady was still winning MVPs at 41 and winning Super Bowls, that's probably not going to happen with Rodgers or Mahomes. So a lot of these guys.
All right, the Cowboys, they keep doing business with the Packers. Trade for Rashawn Gary, gave up a late pick.
7th.
Yeah. Add to your D-line. I mean, like I said, I like the scheme. The problem is somebody did Rashawn Gary real bad on Twitch. They did a video. You know how Maxx Crosby does the basketball moves when he lines up over the center and rushes on the mug D tackle, loop concept. They showed him doing it. It looked some type of smooth. They showed Michael Parsons doing it. It was all right. It's Michael Parsons. Showed Myles Garrett doing it. It's all right. Then they show up Rashawn Gary doing it. He looked stiff, probably carried, doubled in, traveled, doing whatever he was doing. But the difference was those 3 got to the quarterback and he got held up. They did him wrong.
That's dirty. They did him dirty with that one. But no, I like the moves from the Cowboys. And again, they kept their first round picks. Where Baltimore was at, I would have done the 2 first round picks for Crosby. For the Cowboys,
and they tried to get that start. They offered the first and the second, and then the Ravens upped the ante to 2 firsts.
Yeah, first and second was good enough for him. But Baltimore's in a different, unique situation with a roster that could win a Super Bowl. Excuse me, with a few updates next year. I still think the Cowboys could be a playoff team with a few updates, but not a Super Bowl contender next year. Not with the Rams in Seattle in that conference, in the 49ers.
Well, not with Dak Prescott as the quarterback. Here goes my thing. So Dallas still has to work out a long-term deal with George Pickens. He's not going to play on the franchise tag. We just know he's not. But over to Green Bay, We talking about the Eagles lost. Let's talk about Green Bay's lost. Gary's gone. Of course, Kenny Clark was part of the Parsons trade. Quay Walker's gone. Rasheed Walker, the left tackle, is leaving.
Yep.
I think Alfred Jenkins has been out the building. I'm not big on Jordan Love. I'm not big on the receivers room where Romeo Doubs is a free agent. What's going on in Green Bay?
The way it happens, a couple years ago, life happens fast. A couple years ago, they were the hot young team. At some point, those guys become
They were
older
the
and you
seventh
can't pay them
seed
off.
who got celebrated for beating the Cowboys in the playoffs. Everybody beats the Cowboys in the playoffs. But guess what? The playoffs never expanded. Matt LaFleur be on a 4 or 5 year streak of missing the playoffs.
No, he'd been out of a job. Yeah, let's call it spade a spade. He'd been out of a job by now. But the thing is that they got in and they were the hot young team. But now those guys have to get paid, and you can't can't pay everybody. I don't know what they're doing in Green Bay. I still thought they would have been beneficial for moving on from LaFleur and just having a new regime, but I don't know.
I think it's time to change a lot in Green Bay. New quarterback, new head coach. And it stinks because you just got Michael Parsons, but you got to redo that thing with some new people, new philosophy, because what they've got going on in Green Bay ain't working.
Yeah, but listen, they can't blame anyone but themselves. No one told them to trade for Parsons and give them all that money, so you can't keep everybody.
Let's not forget. First half of the season last year, we thought they were a Super Bowl contender. Then they just fell off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then, I'm just done with the fool's gold on Green Bay. Now they're losing pieces. I'm gonna be shocked if they are what Detroit was this season. Just missed the playoffs.
Damn, I wouldn't be surprised because they haven't upgraded. And I think Minnesota and Chicago will be better this year.
All right, the Chargers. So they lost to Dante Oweh to the Commanders, but they did get Khalil Mack back. I think they prioritized the wrong guy here. Khalil Mack's going to be 35, 36 this season. Always young, did great in that scheme, but Mentor did leave. But the Hardballs, all they do is replace people that run the same scheme on defense. So I don't see why there's a problem. I think they prioritized the wrong guy here.
Maybe you know more than me. It's been like a couple years since Khalil Mack has been an impact player, right?
He hasn't been Khalil Mack, but he's been a good player.
Do I think it was a lot of the scheme as well the last few years? Because everybody speaks really high of Mentor in his scheme, like very, very high of it.
Yeah.
So I do think that's helped him a lot. But look what Bosa.
And Joey Bosa wasn't on his other side last year. Bosa was in Buffalo. Oh, they had to trade for Oweh. They get that production again.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of it.
I guess they turned the reins over to Tuli Pelotu, I guess. We'll see if he's ready for that responsibility. He wasn't ready for it last year, so I don't know why you're supposed to think he's ready for it this year.
Unless they draft differently and they go a different route, but they need some playmakers on the outside of the football. I think they need some playmakers.
Yeah, so the Chargers, another team. It's kind of hard to care about. All right, last one. Brian Daboll is bringing Rondale Robinson with him to Tennessee. So Tennessee sneakily had some targets for Cam Ward. He likes Eli Manor. He loves Tamari Dike, who no one even knew about heading into last season. And now you get a great, crafty slot guy in Rondale Robinson. Slow and steady might be solid for Tennessee.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Just build it the right way. You have your quarterback because Ward showed me things last year that I'm like, oh, okay, he could play in this league. So they have it. It's just they got to build it slow. I think this league has done a disservice for these young guys. They just try to build it too quickly. I know the rookie deal is the important thing, but you got to build it slow and steady.
Yeah. All right, Sean, you got anything else?
Nah, that's it.
Shout out Dak Prescott. Shorty went and signed a prenup. He said, well, you got to go. So shout out to not having another dumb brother out there.
Smart guy. She don't want to sign a prenup. But first of all, I'm having that conversation with you day one.
Yeah, before I proposed to you.
Proposed to you, yeah. Like you just wasted all that money.
You gotta see where her mind is before you put the ring on her, man.
Or not even that. He gave her 2 kids, so she's still gonna get something now.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, yes, he gave it a 10-month-old, 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's too little, too late. That child support going to eat his ass up.
Exactly. Pause. But it's gonna be crazy for him. But shout out to I'm worth all that money. You ain't willing to sign the prenup. I just don't get whatever. I'm not gonna go to rant because my guy.
No, go ahead, talk to me.
I gotta say, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and I'm all for because my type. If I build a $1 billion business with my girl, it'll be hard for me to be like, "Yo, sign this prenup" because we built it together.
Mm-hmm.
But
damn, nothing to do with this.
Yeah. If I built it and I come to you, you got to sign. If you built it up with me, it still would be hard for me to give up, even if I have 100 billion, to give up $5 billion. It'll still be hard for me to give up. But whatever, yo. These girls are coming up. But Dak was smart. Yo, I was this before you. I can't do that. But you seed her up, so it don't make sense. That child support 50,000-60,000 a month. She's living good.
He making 40-something million in Dallas. He'll be all right.
But the kids are gonna be good. But then her next man's gonna be good, living off the money that she's getting off that child support. Because how much the kids really need? They ain't gonna be having $50,000 a month.
Ain't gotta work. He's the guy come home and put down, and he'd be all right. Yeah, you damn
exactly. He's good.
Sean, I might come to a realization. I think I just might not like Canadian basketball players.
Lou Dort, it's just what you going for.
Lou Dort is a dirty son of a biscuit eater, bro. And I just get to thinking, I don't like him. I was nowhere near as high on Andrew Wiggins as everyone else. I think Steve Nash is the most overrated point guard of all time. I hate Shea's flopping ass. Maybe I just don't. Tristan Thompson's goofy as hell. Maybe I just don't like Canadian basketball players.
Dylan Brooks, you want to hold? Dylan Brooks, I heard him talking crazy on Gillian Wallow's show the other day. But I do like Dylan. I can't lie. He's a culture setter, so I can't be mad about that. I can't lie. I'm going to say this, and it sounds like a hater, but I'm going to say this. It's not about Canadians. It's just about Shea. I don't really respect the 120 points a game, the streak, because this is the thing. I saw a crazy stat the other day. He went 6 for 22 in a game, but had 14 from 15 from the free throw line. We would kill James Harden 5, 6, 7 years ago about the same BS.
Sean, so Sunday, Devin Booker against the Hornets, 7 for 18 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. He still finished for 30 points. How? Because he went 15 for 15 from the free throw line.
Yeah, like I can't respect that. I can't
respect that. The refs just make it too easy on these cats.
Yeah. It's just I just don't.
There's a different game being played, and it ain't good.
Yeah, I don't respect it, and that's just me being real. Shout out to him to breaking tying the record. He'll break it, but when you getting 15 points at the free throw lines, 12 points, 13 points, all you have to get is 2, 3, 4 buckets. Come on, man, that's cheap. It's whack.
And again, the Lakers way better without them. Way better.
But yo, I gotta be honest, man. Don't fall into that hype because then they're gonna believe Luka and Austin's the guys together.
Oh, no,
that's what happens,
and that's not going to work. But still, they are better together than with LeBron. Maybe we can save that for tomorrow or Thursday's show because we got some basketball we got to talk this week.
Yeah. Let's add that to it. But I'm not 9-2. I did the Lakers stats last night. I didn't even feel good putting that because I was like, let me not put that out in the air for the Lakers fans because I think it's fool's gold. But we'll talk about that on Thursday. Right. I really do.
All right, well, more free agency to come. Some head coaching firings to come in college basketball for sure. Arizona State ain't waste no time announcing Bobby Hurley, and they still got a conference championship game to play today. So, conference tournament game to play. So we'll be back either tomorrow or Thursday. Until then, keep it easy.
Yeah.